Hi everyone, and thanks for checking out my channel. Going to have a look now at coffee. It's been quite a long time. I didn't actually look at it, but the reason is that I'm mainly trading long position on coffee, as there's no longer ETFs that I can actually use to short the market, and I was looking at the downside definitely on coffee from that point here and breaking higher than 130. So it was just no time since roughly this summer to actually open long position, as the momentum was clearly bearish. So we may have reached some bottom here. Also, we didn't actually get low enough to reach the trend line that is actually running at the moment around 96, but I have good reason to believe that we are reaching a bottom here and it could reverse. Maybe not in the coming days, potentially could take a little bit longer, so we will need some patience here. When we look at the pattern that's developing, we have a classical falling wedge, very similar to what we got before. So if we take the June bottom, it was pretty much the same. So we got again falling wedge here, and very similar as well, very clean 4 hours divergence. So we're having the same here, but that one is dragging for longer. So this is a bit painful when you start accumulating on the first sign of divergence, because you carry some drawdown that is not comfortable. But on the other hand, that kind of long-lasting divergence here is actually building more pressure, so you get more chance to actually break quite strongly the upper resistance when you get that kind of accumulation. I'm not sure we're having some similar example, but because usually they don't actually drag for so long. Maybe one good example is the one we had mid last year. So we got that very big also falling wedge. I think that one was even not let's say we can ignore that point here and just make it like this. It was more of a channel really, but still it did actually last for quite some time. So we had some 4 hours divergence as well. It didn't last so long like the one we're having now, but then when it did actually break the 92 level, it shot up very quickly to 106 and also carried some momentum to actually break higher. Of course, the big one we had was the move we had here, but that one here did have the divergence, but really sharp to the reversal. So unfortunately for now and for the long position, we don't have that sharp reversal in place yet, so we need to be a bit more patient. I believe we could still see some leg to the downside. Also, when we look a little bit closer, so on the 1 hour, we might be building some bull flag here. And that bull flag, should we actually break it to the upside, will actually take us outside the falling wedge. That could be definitely interesting to trigger some more upside for this move. So if we take the wedge as well from, let's say, even if we conservative and look at that level here, and we're taking from the breakout, we are directly looking at the 118 level. So that level is key in my opinion, first because this is it's been quite a pivot point many occasions, but more important, we're having that 4 hours divergence that's firmly in place here. It's pointing to that peak at the origin here, which is telling us that we have a high chance to actually go and clear up the origin of that level, which is sitting roughly at 118. So I think that's a fair target for that move. From there, should we get there not too far away from now, we are very likely to do some pullback. They're usually quite significant, as we can see here. We had that very large pullback, dropping almost, it was from 123 down to 110, so we're losing a good 10% here. So we can go for 120 down to 110. It's been also key level before actually shooting higher and potentially reaching the higher resistance trend line that's running currently at 136. So that could be a very interesting move to the upside. If we look now at the quote report, there's nothing bullish that we can see in that report. We've seen that the managed money, they kept on increasing their short positions. They're still standing net long, so not actually increasing that much, but doesn't actually look extremely bullish for now. We can also see from the edging position they're reducing long. That is somehow bullish, but still no high conviction in there. So don't think we are in a very strong accumulation phase. We're going to break now. Potentially, should we get that break outside that bull flag, but I'm not too sure that is gonna happen right now, and potentially we could still go and revisit 103, potentially 102. If we take the divergence on the 4 hours, we're still having a bit of room to make another touch. That would be the 1, 2, 3, the fourth one. Could be potentially the last one at 102. So yeah, definitely should we break that level at 102, then we're having some, it will be more difficult to actually recover this. We'll have some more of a bear flag that could actually take us down to 96. That is the very key trend line that we don't want to see breaking. So yeah, that's about it on coffee. I'll have a look at this midweek, but not expecting major development for the coming week. Potentially within the next 2 weeks, as we reach the end of that falling wedge, we need some resolution here. So we're looking at the end of October. So potentially end of next week, early the week after, we should get some resolution. If we don't actually break earlier than this, then that will be the time frame we are looking at. Yeah, so checking this again next week. Until then, I wish you safe trading, and I speak to you soon. Cheers, bye.